everybody, I wanted to show you a new recipe for the quick cooker that I'm really excited about because we're in the fall now and we love all those good comfort foods. So we're going to do a pot roast in the quick cooker. So this is one of those things that I usually have to start really early in the day or do it on a weekend. So this is going to be a real treat because we're going to get this done in just about an hour. So I've got a chuck roast here and I've already seasoned it. I've used some of our 3 onion rub. You can use whatever kind of seasoning you like. And I'm going to do some salt and pepper. And what I love about the quick cooker is I can do everything in this pot. So I've actually got it set to sear and I've preheated some of our garlic infused canola oil. You can use regular canola oil. So we're going to sear this the roast. So I'm just going to pop that in here carefully. So we're going to set that in there. It's going to take about 5 minutes per side. So the reason that we're going to sear this is because searing will actually build flavor. So you'll get more of that good, hearty, beefy flavor if you go ahead and sear it before we pressure cook it. So we're going to get a little bit of that caramelization on the outside, and then when the pressure cooker cooks, it's going to heat all the way through. So this is just getting the outside. It's not going to cook it through. It's just going to get the very outside of the roast. So while we do that, I've been prepping all our vegetables. Now, you can do your, if you want to put your vegetables in there all together, that's how we like it. So I'm just going to put pieces of carrots and potatoes. I'm going to put some onion in there too. But if you like to do mashed potatoes, then what you would do is use, after you get the roast seared, you could put the wire rack on top and then use the ceramic bowl to do your potatoes. Put your potatoes in there with some chicken broth. You'll use this silicone cover so you can do potatoes at the same time as your roast. Then when they're cooked, you can just mash them and serve them as mashed potatoes. But we're going to throw everything in there together. So with the quick cooker, the things I love about it is that it stays really cooling outside, so I can move it if I need to. And of course, we've got this 6-quart stainless pot. That is just wonderful. It's really nice and heavy duty, so it cooks really nice and evenly. And you can see we've got all these different settings here. We've got actually 16 different settings. You can proofread, you can do white rice, brown rice. It's got settings for poultry, meat, dessert, soups, all different kinds of things. So I'm really learning a lot about pressure cooking. I've been really intimidated before I got this one to try it. I was interested, but I was kind of afraid. So I have been really, it's been really nice to learn on such a nice pressure cooker. So once we get our roast kind of brown on one side, we're gonna flip it, and then once this roast is all seared on each side, then we're going to add the rest of the vegetables. So this will take a few more minutes, so I'll check back in just a minute and show you the next part. Okay, so the pot roast has been seared on both sides, so you can see it's still pink inside, but we've got it brown on the outside. So we're going to put some onion in here. We've still got, see how that pretty fallen in there? That's good. This builds flavor, so you definitely want that in here. So we're going to throw some onion in there. And we've got a little bit of the juice from the meat, and we've still got a little oil in there. I'm going to use my veggie wedger and just cut this into wedges. You can slice it if you want smaller pieces. If you have picky people in your family who want to pick it out, you can leave them bigger like I have to do. So we're just going to throw that in there, saute a little bit. And it smells really, really good. Okay, so once, oh gosh, that's gonna make my eyes water. It smells good. Okay, so we're gonna let that go for just a minute. I'm gonna put just a teeny bit more oil in there, just a smidge. About a tablespoon at most. So just to give that a quick saute. That garlic infused canola really adds a lot of nice flavor, but you can use regular canola. Olive oil would probably okay, although you don't want to use olive oil if you're going to saute a lot because it's got kind of a low smoke point. So canola actually is more stable at higher temperatures. So we've got our onion in there going really well. We've already prepped up some potatoes, some carrots, so you can throw in celery, whatever you like. So once we've got our onions kind of sweating a little bit more translucent, we are going to put everything back in there. So let me show you really quick what the lid is like. Let's see, let me grab my lid. Okay. So the lid looks like this, and it has a silicone seal. Silicone is better than rubber because silicone is always going to stay really flexible. So when you put the ring in, you push it all the way down. So you can see I'm pushing it with my fingers until it won't go any further. Okay, so once that's correctly seated, then you're going to check to make sure that your little indicator lines up. And let's see, I think we've got our onions looking pretty good. Yeah, those look great. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off of the sear setting. Is that off? Yeah, okay. And then we're going to put the rose and all the other vegetables there on. Actually, I'm going to put the vegetables underneath. So, get those. Kind of got that cutting board overloaded a little bit. So you can just kind of throw in whatever you want, but we're also going to add some chicken broth because we've got moisture from the vegetables, moisture from the rose. So we're going to add some additional moisture because you need the moisture for the pressure to come up like it's supposed to. So once we've got all those in there, okay, then we're going to put half a cup of chicken broth. Actually, I'm going to add just a little bit more because in the if you want to do mashed potatoes, you're going to add a little bit more chicken broth. So I'm going to do just a little extra since I'm kind of deviating from the recipe just a little bit. Just to be safe, I'm going to add just a little bit extra. About another half a cup. So about a cup of chicken broth all together. And then I'm going to put my roast back in there on top. Okay, now we're going to put the lid on. And let's see, we're going to put it on the beef pork setting. And I'm going to put it on like this. Okay, so the beef pork setting, let's see. We're going to go back over here. And I want to, our lights are flickering. So I want to make sure my steam release vent is down. And then this is our pressure indicator. It is also down. And while the pressure indicator is down, the lid is able to open. When this is up, that shows that it's under pressure and the lid will be locked and it won't come open at all. So we're going to do, it's got 35 minutes of cook time. I like my roast to be a little bit extra tender. So I'm going to increase that time just a little bit to about 45. So this is all, you know, all our prep work is done. So all we have to do is wait for it to finish now. So I'm going to hit start. And while this indicator is going around, it is building pressure. So the more food it has in it, the longer it will take to build pressure. And once it comes to pressure, then it'll start counting down from 45 minutes. Once the 45 minutes are up, it'll go automatically to the warm setting, and then it'll start counting up. So if you weren't here to hear the little indicator go off, then you'll know exactly how long it's been at the warm setting. So we'll check back in a little bit so you can see our delicious pot roast and it smells really good already. So I wish we had smell-o-vision on Facebook so you could smell, but it's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited. So everybody enjoy your dinner, and we'll check back in a little bit. So we have come to pressure. It has cooked. It has pressurized for about 45 minutes. So this is just, you know, while we were just washing up the rest of the dishes, just kind of doing all our other you know, things, doing some laundry. So it's great to have that passive time. We had some active time, just a little, very little bit of prep. So about 15 minutes worth of prep work. So this is all done, ready to go, and it went to the warm setting. So we did a 10-minute natural release on the steam. So you can kind of see, it's kind of hard to see. The steam's naturally just coming out in the little vent. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and release the remaining steam. And I love how the steam release is way over there and my fingers are way back here. And the steam goes away from me. So once that steam is completely released, you'll see this is the pressure indicator right here. Red means hot. So when that is up, that means it's still under pressure. And the lid will be locked, and you cannot open it until that is down. So we're just releasing all this pressure. There's a lot of food in here, so it built up quite a bit of pressure. So that's still going, and you can still kind of see the steam. It's harder to see on the video, but you can see that's coming out. You can hear it, of course. So the house smells amazing, and I love that it took very little prep time to do this, and our whole dinner is right here. So basically, the only dishes we're gonna have are the plates that we eat off of. And then I'm just gonna wash out the pot, you know, wash out the pot, wipe off the lid, and we're all set. Turn the dishwasher on, and we are done. So this is gonna be great. So once that is all done, I'm gonna go ahead and stop. You can kind of still hear it go. It's just a little bit more going. Sometimes you'll have a little bit of, you know, moisture kind of bubble up from there, but that's not hurting anything. Okay, so once that's all done, see the little pressure release is still up, so sometimes you have to kind of flick it, but it's still got some pressure in there. There it goes. So see it pop down. So that means the lid can unlock and open. And I love how it plays a little music for me. Okay, so check this out. So we have our beautiful pot roast, and it is looking good, really tender. And then we've got our vegetables that are all completely cooked. So that is gonna be delicious. So we've got our pot roast all ready to go. It's a 6-quart pot. So I'll let you see how, that's a pretty good size. So that is a lot of food. So gonna be delicious. Maybe we'll even have some leftovers. So we've got all kinds of great recipes that come with the quick cooker. They actually, Pampered Chef actually developed 17 different recipes. There's a couple of dessert recipes and all different kinds of main dishes. Plus they're coming out with new recipes all the time. They've all been thoroughly developed and tested by Pampered Chef, so everything works out perfectly as long as you follow the directions. So I have really been impressed with all the recipes so far. It's been a lot of fun testing all these out. So the quick cooker is just, you know, one of my favorite new things, and I love it. This is basically all the dishes we're gonna have, whatever we use to eat off of. And if you have been wanting to try a pressure cooker, but you just haven't kind of worked up your nerve, this is a great one. It's not intimidating at all. I feel very safe with it. And the great thing about it is this one is actually available on sale for $96 in September and October for our Pampered Chef host. And it's really easy to get this for that price. It's amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and eat, and I hope everybody has a great evening.